Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Thursday! Welcome to Game Day Live, presented by the Let's Go Devils Podcast Network and the Primetime Radio Studios, along with Anchor Brew. My name is Vinnie, Parise, and I am here with my good friend Shorts Guy as we are getting you set for New Jersey Devils hockey as they will take on the Vegas Golden Knights. Welcome to all fans watching on YouTube, Facebook, X, wherever it is you get your podcasts. We will be up on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple shortly. Chat, how we doing? Shorts Guy, how we doing? How we doing?
Doing good, Vinny. It's another great day in New Jersey here, and well, it snowed today, so it's definitely been a good day. How about you?
Very good. We had an ice storm last night. At about 9 o'clock, it decided to just like ice fall from the sky, and the ground is like literally a sheet of ice. Like, it's hard to walk. I actually found it to be easier to drive than walk in the last 24 hours because the main roads were like fine. Cars are driving on them. They're not as icy as you would think with the ice that's coming out of the sky. But like the sidewalks and the walkway up to each and every house, brutal.
Yeah, it was a combination of snow and ice here, so we got some of that ice as well, which is probably why I didn't have school today. But hey, it is what it is. The Devils have the game tonight.
I didn't realize that. You had a good little off day?
A little bit. But you know what? The Devils play tonight, which is a good thing. And I see AJ Visco's in the chat.
Oh boy!
I gotta point this out, and I don't know if I'm going to post this or not, but I have a picture on my phone of a young AJ Visco from our hockey team picture from when he was a high schooler. I've got it on my phone, AJ. Might post it. Don't know.
I think it needs to go up. Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about here?
It might have to. A young high school aged AJ Visco in his goalie gear. So
I love that. Very good. Well, I'm on team put it up, just so everybody knows. You did mention the Devils have a hockey game to play today.
Yes.
They're taking on the Vegas Golden Knights, who are, in theory, one of the best teams in the National Hockey League. They make big-time moves every single year. A guy becomes available, Vegas is in on him. Whether they get him or not, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But last year they went out and traded for Noah Hannafin, and then when that wasn't enough, they added Tomas Hertl. And now Brandon Saad decides to, he would rather give up $3 million between now and the end of next season than play in the AHL, which I guess when you won a couple cups, made anywhere from 60 to 70 million over your career, you can spare to like give up 2 to 3 mil to avoid going on the buses of the AHL. And now he's on the Vegas Golden Knights. He scored a goal against the New York Islanders in their last game out. Vegas, they're not as dominant as they were in the beginning of the season, though, because although they are second in the Pacific Division, which in my opinion is the best division in the National Hockey League, or top, it's right there with the Atlantic. They're 31-17-6, but in their last 10 games, Shorts Guy, they're 2-5-3, not the best. These are usually the teams that the Devils kind of struggle against, which has kind of been an issue a lot of the time this season, which is crazy because the Devils are 30-19-6, one of the best records in the NHL in their own right, and they've been a little better lately. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10, but 4 of those wins have come in their last 6 games. So, all's well that ends well when it comes to the Devils, but this Vegas team, it's going to present a challenge to them. The Devils have played Vegas well at home since their existence into the National Hockey League.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. This is showing that every team goes through a slide. So we've gone through a slide since Christmas. Vegas is going through a similar slide. You're right. We do struggle against teams that are on the schneid, but also Vegas is a good team too, and the Devils seem to play very well against good teams. So it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword here. Like, which version of the Devils are going to play which version of the Golden Knights? Like, is this going to be the Devils that can play very well against a better team, or the Devils that kind of, suck against a bad team? On top of that, we have the return of Mr. Alexander Holtz tonight.
Yes.
Which I saw some postings earlier today people are like, well, watch for Holtz to have a big breakout game tonight against the Devils. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting game. There's a couple twists. AJ Visco just posted that Nemec is up today, which is due to the Siegenthaler injury. I also saw that the captain was put on the IR, and we're getting Nico Dawes starting again tonight, apparently. Which, by the way, Nico Dawes in that shootout win against the Penguins. I love a goalie duel in a shootout. I just found out that I don't love a goalie duel in a shootout when it's my team that's doing it, because that was so stressful to watch.
100%. And yeah, so he sure the IR stint, that's just a paper transaction so that he could come back whenever, because it was retroactive to January 25th, meaning that week has gone. That's a week has already gone by. He's eligible to play. I don't think he will play before the Four Nations face-off, but he is currently eligible to come off at any
that
time.
Would be Saturday.
And
that would be Saturday.
Exactly. And I don't. That kind of to me feels like good news for Siegenthaler that they put Nico on the IR because instead of him, because they needed a spot to call up Nemitz so he could play in Siegenthaler's spot, but it's in Heischer's roster spot. So we'll see what that means for Siegenthaler going forward. Hopefully he's okay. This is Nemitz's time to prove he deserves to be at least a regular on the roster for the rest of the season, although it's been going pretty well for him in the AHL since about the start of December especially. And then, Nico Dawes, he deserves it. He was excellent against the Pittsburgh Penguins, not even just in the shootout. In regulation, he made some key saves against the Pittsburgh Penguins, who do have good players. I know where they are in the standings, but Sidney Crosby's still Sidney Crosby. Ricard Raquel's been on fire. What a up and down game he had against the Devils. He accidentally kicks one in, waved off. He accidentally kicks one in for the Devils. It's an own goal, and the Devils go up 1-0. Then he gets a goal himself again later in the game. So just what an up and down game of roller coasters for that guy. He'll be teammates with Jesper Bratt at the Four Nations face-off that we've just recently found out. He replaced Wild Bill William Karlsson, who won't be playing for Vegas here tonight at the Rock against the Devils. Vegas, losers of two straight. The two straight are the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders. Their little trip through the Metropolitan Division. Was the Rangers one of them, or the Bruins involved with that some way, somehow too? I think I forget. They're going through a little bit of New York, a little bit of an anti-New York groove with this road trip that they're on, and the Devils are looking to keep it going. Without Wild Bill, it's easier, or shouldn't say easier. It's less of a challenge though, because he's incredible down the middle, and they're running Eichel and Hurdle now, and Eichel's having just a sensational season in his own right. He'll be teammates with Jack Hughes at the Four Nations face-off as well. I'm excited for this one. Last year, you might remember the Devils had like a up and down game against Vegas in their one game at the Rock, and then Tyler Toffoli put them ahead. I can't remember if it was in overtime or if it was at the end of regulation, but he was certainly scored the game-winning goal, and Bill Spalding had one of his all-time great Devils calls with it. But you hope Nico Dawes can kind of recreate what he did in their most recent game against the Pens.
Yeah, and this will be a real test for him because, like you said, the Pens are good, and the Pens have great. The Pens have great players. They're not doing so good right now. Ned played a very good game against us as well, so you got to give him credit too. But this is a real big test for Nico Dawes because this is a really good team coming in, and he played his way into this start today. There's no doubt about that. He played his way into this start today, which I was assuming we'd see him at least once. I didn't expect to see him twice. So he's earned this spot and he's earned this opportunity, which is great. So good for him. I hope he does well with it. Last year against Vegas, away at Las Vegas, was also. And he's not here to chime in. This is also where Sam Wu and the Girl Scouts of America had this big, deep divide open up in between them. When Sam Wu was acting like Sam Wu does out at Vegas to cause the Girl Scouts to attack him and the gang.
And it makes you wonder if this game has a special sort of meaning for Sam Wu, who has to be head over heels excited for other baseball-related reasons too. Obviously,
he is.
Big Panda's coming back to
Polar Bear, the Panda,
Polar Bear.
Oh,
Why would I say Panda? What a dumb idiot! I bearish looking animal. I mean, it's not.
I,
It's not like I said dog or flamingo.
no, but yeah, that's speaking of the
Polar
Mets
bear.
stuff, that's a great signing for the Mets to bring him back. The Mets are going to have a wild lineup this year, and I'm looking forward to going to a game or two because it's going to be a fun time. Maybe
Absolutely.
Sam will don the grimace get up again, and we have to try to plan our trip out to see them play the Cubs like we were trying last year.
Oh yeah, that should
So
be a trip that is made. I mean, I kind of want it to be incorporated with hockey because obviously I
mhm.
want you guys to come to a hockey game more, like just as much, if not more.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
we would just have such a blast in Wrigleyville, and I'm not a Cubs fan, so I would just root for the
I
Mets
know.
with you guys. But our the night we would have in Wrigley Field, I just know would be like
Oh, it's so
legendary.
much
I
fun.
really do
So much
believe it.
fun. Yeah,
So
so we'll
yeah,
have to
we got
look
to
at
make that
that.
happen.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that and see when we can make that work.
Only team in the National League that could challenge the Dodgers, in my opinion, New York
Yeah.
Mets. I really
Oh yeah,
believe that.
totally. Totally. It's gonna it's gonna be a fun season there. But that season starts right as the Devils are about to end hopefully. Hopefully the Devils will extend well into the Mets season. A win tonight and a win on Saturday, I think will really help set us up going into the break, which it's going to be 2 long weeks without us being on Game Day Live. So we're gonna have to do something for the Four Nations Cup at
Yeah,
some point.
totally. And
Because after
when
Saturday, we're not going to have a chance to talk like this for a while.
part of our prediction segment on Saturday, I think, and that reminds me, we need you to go in the YouTube chat right now and throw in your predictions for today's game between the New Jersey Devils and Vegas Golden Knights.
Mm-hmm.
During the part of that on Saturday, I think it's going to be necessary to throw in Four Nations picks in the
We
YouTube
could
chat.
we could always start a little bit earlier on Saturday, and we can talk a little Four Nations before we get to the Devils game. So that's something we can talk about a little bit later,
Totally,
which I
totally. We
think will
got a
be a
little bit
ton
of
of fun.
time. A little bit of
Oh
time
yeah.
in between that. I know we're gonna have a hard out today at 5:30 because the Devils take on the Golden Knights at the Rock, and we want people to have plenty of time to get
Mm-hmm.
into the stadium. If you're at American Whiskey, hello. If you're watching from home tonight, hello. But throw your chats,
Yes.
your predictions in the chat right now. It needs to be done. Shorts guy, let's get on with it. What do you think is going to happen
All
in
right.
tonight's
Well,
game between the Devils and Knights?
this is going to be one of those games that I think if we get a repeat performance from Nico Dawes, it's going to be a really good game. Has there been any idea of who's playing for Vegas in net tonight?
Aiden Hill is starting for
Aiden
Vegas
Hill.
Golden Knights
Okay,
tonight. Yep.
Aiden Hill. I like
Speaking of
watching
the
Aiden
Four
Hill.
Nations face-off.
I like watching Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill is a really good goaltender. Aiden Hill. The one thing I noticed about him is he checks his posts and pops his glove a lot. Just one of those weird little things that I've picked up. You're going to see the return of Alexander Holtz, and you're going to see the reemergence into the lineup for Nemec, which this is Nemec's chance. Like you get one first impression, and I know he's played for us before, but I feel like this is that big first impression since that article has come out. Now, whether you take anything from what he said as serious or not, but he really has to perform tonight. If he has a bad game, it's not going to look good based on all that crap that came out in that article. However, with all that being said, I'm going to predict that the Devils are going to win this game 4-2, and I am also going to predict Holtz has at least one goal tonight for the Vegas Golden Knights, which I never predict an opposite team to score like that. And I'd love to see Nemec get on the scoreboard. He's skating with Luke Hughes, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, 4-2 Devils win. Nico Dawes at a big game, and hopefully Nemec is a big game as well.
Yeah, totally. Listen, I would love to scope out other fan bases. Maybe I will do this one day. I want to know if other fan bases also believe that their former players score on them a lot. Because
Yes, that would be great.
I do know that Blackhawks fans feel that way.
Okay.
I cover them professionally. I look at them through very much a professional scope, but I still read what fans put on Twitter and stuff, and I definitely feel like they believe that that's the case, and I know Devils fans feel that that's the case, and there's actually a little bit of merit to back that up. It does seem like guys score against the Devils. I feel like I could picture Paul Mary scoring. I know Zach Parise had at least one. Henrique scores on them every time they play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced 50-year-old Patrick Elias could come back and pot one right now if he wanted to. Honestly, I don't
Well,
think he's quite 50 yet, but
we're seeing 50-plus-year-old Jaromir Jagr still do it. So
yeah, well, he's an alien.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna read some of these in the chat. Let's see, where's the top? Select the Boy says 4-2 Devils. Zach says 2-1 Devils. Brooke Amanda says 3-2 Devils. Survey says 4-3 Devils. Richard says 4-3 Devils. Art 5-2. AJ Visco with the Vinnie like score 2-1. Let's see, what else do we got? I think that's what it's looking like for prediction so far. Do we have a Sam Wu prediction? I don't think we do.
I don't
We
think we
don't
do have
have
a
a
Sam
Sam
Wu
Wu
prediction.
prediction available to us right now. He's waiting to hit the music. He knows we got, a little bit more of an on schedule type deal going today, so he's just waiting for the music to get underway. I'm gonna pick the Devils to beat Vegas 4-2.
It's the same as
Did
me.
you say 4-2 also? Did
I
you
said
say
4-2.
4-2
Yeah.
also? I'll say 4-3 then. I'll go
Okay.
4-3 then. If it's 4-2 though, I'm going to punch myself in the face because it's not illegal to pick the same score.
And that would
Um,
be the third. If I get it tonight, I think it'll be the third time that I'll get it right this season.
you're
Maybe
going to get
fourth.
2
I
more
can't
this
remember.
season.
I hope so.
You're
I
going
got
to get 2
5-0.
more this season.
Mike Rossi
Well,
just threw his prediction of 3-1.
there
And
you go, Mike Rossi.
Joey B, I know you're a big fan, but I'm not reading that score. Sorry. Uh,
Mm-mm.
not going to do it.
You may have noticed I skipped a couple. Couple. I'm
Yeah.
not saying them. Not when if the team loses like 60% of their most recent games, then yeah, I'll start reading the loser. Like I remember what was it, the 2021-22 season?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Sam Wu were grinding these things and this team stunk. They ended up winning the
Oh,
lottery
yeah.
and getting Nemitz second overall. Um we started predicting the other team pretty much every game. It got to that
Okay.
point. Like, I'm not going to get on air and say something that I don't actually think. But as long as they're a good team, I'm going to predict them to win. That's why you
Yeah,
watch
absolutely.
your favorite team. You go in thinking they have a chance to win if they're a good team. It's not irrational to think the Devils can win this game against Vegas. I mean, I don't think it's irrational to think they can win any particular game no matter where their place is in the standings. I mean, Buffalo's won 4 in a row.
Uh,
And the Devils are part of that.
Here's Sam Wu. So Joey B just threw a score in for Sam Wu. But I'm curious if Sam Wu wants to put his own score prediction if he's
Nope,
got us in
we're
his
going to stick with
headset.
that one.
We're going to stick with the Joey B one?
Yeah, I think we have to because
Joey B speaking for
That was
Sam
it.
Wu. 12-4. Whoa. Sam Wu just
wow.
gave us his
And
actual
then
legitimate one.
Sam came in with an actual prediction, and it is more Vinny-like than Sam
is.
Wu-like in every way.
So, Jay Snow, if you're asking about a football call from the last game, Sam Wu, I believe, did a football call for the Hamilton shootout goal that was scored.
Oh, that was a
Mhm.
beaut. That was a beaut.
Yep.
A lot of defensemen went early in that shootout. And I know the Penguins have used Letang for a long time, but you remember they have Carlson, and the
Mhm.
Devils have Hamilton, who obviously scored. I thought Luke made a good move, but he missed.
Yep.
So yeah, a
And
lot of
Tatar was
defensemen.
the save on, the save on Tatar. No, not defenseman, but the save that Ned had on Tatar's shootout chance was pretty damn good too. Tatar had him
Absolutely.
dead to rights, and he got him with the pad.
Without question. I mean, it's clear.
8 Bats is on the 4-2 train, Vin. Couple with the 4-2.
Oh, love that. Love that with the 4-2. Myers shot. I mean, that was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I low key have loved the way Timo Myers played in the last, I don't know, month and a half. I think he's looked like that power forward that there's just the finishing hasn't been there
Yeah.
as much. And I know he scored the shootout winner last game. He had a big goal in the loss to the Flyers last week. I think it was Monday. So he's been a bulldozer. He's to the front of the net. He's creating chances. So Joey B's disgusted by my shirt story. It's a Chris Sale shirt, and Chris Sale's the greatest pitcher in Chicago White Sox history. So I actually do believe he's the most talented pitcher in Chicago White Sox history. So that's the story behind the Chris Sale shirt. But Short Sky, you got anything else for me before we move out?
No, I got nothing. I just time for me to go play hockey. That's what it is.
It is. Are you playing forward or goal in this game?
I'm playing goal for 2 teams tonight, so I got 2 games.
Very good. Good luck to you.
Mm-hmm.
I hope
Thank
you and Nico Dawes both have an exceptional evening together in the blue paint. Maybe make a couple saves, maybe make a nice little breakout pass like Brodeur used to do back in the day.
I'll try it.
Absolutely. Good luck to you. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your evening. To all the people watching, make sure you tune into the New Jersey Devils as they take on the Vegas Golden Knights, a premier matchup against 2 of the top teams in the NHL that have been a little up and down since January. We'll see how it goes for those teams. For the great Sam Wu, for Short Sky. Oh, and make sure you tune in after the Devils game today for
Absolutely.
Devils After Dark, where Scotty of Sirius XM Liquid Metal will break down the game that was hopefully a New Jersey Devils victory over Vegas. A very good team. What a good game that would be. A good victory. To everybody watching, as always, let's go Devils.